On April 2, 2026, National Highway 12 in West Bengal's Malda district was completely paralyzed. A burning barricade blocked the road, hundreds of protesters filled the streets, and 7 judicial officers were held hostage inside a government building for 9 straight hours. When police arrived, they found themselves facing local teachers, farmers, and shopkeepers. These were citizens with clean records, driven to desperation after finding their voter IDs suddenly voided by the system. This diagram shows the scale of the state's special intensive revision. By the time the final lists were published, 6.1 million voters were outright deleted from the rolls. Another 6 million were thrown into an administrative limbo called suspected. Statistically, 1 in every 6 voters in a standard household was stripped of their confirmed status. The triggers for losing your civic identity were trivial. If your name was spelled with a U instead of an O, or if the recorded age gap between a father and son was deemed unusual, you were flagged. This wasn't decided by an officer investigating on the ground, but by an untested software algorithm. In the world's largest democracy, an unverified machine algorithm held the final power to revoke the right to vote. The official justification for deploying this software was to secure the border and clean the voter rolls of illegal immigrants crossing into the state. Political leaders heavily promoted this narrative, promising that over 10 million illegal Bangladeshi migrants would be identified and purged during the revision. To verify if the software performed its intended security function, we have to look past the political speeches and analyze the raw demographic data of the people who were actually targeted. If the system worked as advertised, the deletions should align tightly with suspected illegal border crossings. But the actual numbers suggest a different pattern entirely. In reality, the state average of unmapped voters is a mere 4.3%, a tiny fraction of the promised 10 million illegal immigrants. In Muslim-majority districts like Damkal and Raninagar, the mapping error rates are even lower, less than 1%. The highest failure rates actually appear in Hindu Dalit refugee areas, where unmapped voters are more than double the state average. This mirrors the outcome in Assam, where more than half of those unable to prove citizenship were found to be Hindu. The data tells a story that is the exact opposite of the illegal infiltrator narrative used to justify the revision. The real target of this algorithmic purge becomes visible when you break down the demographics of the 6 million suspected voters. In Murshidabad, a district with a 66% Muslim population, a staggering 1.1 million voters were flagged as suspected. In Kolkata Port, Muslim voters make up half the population, but account for over 80% of the suspected list. In Bhabanipur, the chief minister's own seat, the trend continues. Half of all suspected voters are Muslim. This wasn't accidental. At Raninagar, flags on Muslim-majority booths reached nearly 60%, compared to just 3% on Hindu booths. Local election officials even used WhatsApp to instruct staff to mark voters as absent before the official deadlines had even passed. Instead of being transparent, the Election Commission buried the final voter rolls behind a wall of technical obstacles. They released the lists as massive, blurry, and non-searchable PDF files, over 200 times larger than a standard document. They implemented CAPTCHAs to block automated tools and watermarked every entry to prevent anyone from using AI to analyze the lists. It was a clear attempt to ensure the public could not easily read or scrutinize the millions of names on the list. Only after a Supreme Court order was the Election Commission finally forced to make this suspected category public for the voters to see. Statistics provide the scale, but individual cases show how little the algorithm values a citizen's history or loyalty to the state. Muhammad Dwal Ali is a Kargil war veteran who took bullets for India. Despite providing his official military service records, the algorithm still threw him onto the suspected voter list. He is part of a list that includes a retired high court judge, former ministers, and even the local booth-level officers who were tasked with running the software themselves. If a decorated war veteran and a retired judge can lose their voting status over a software flag, the average citizen has little defense against the machine. When citizenship hinges on unnested software and shadow WhatsApp orders, the traditional safeguards of the democratic process are replaced by an opaque digital bureaucracy. What is happening in West Bengal acts as a blueprint for removing genuine local voters and importing outsiders, a system that can be exported to any state in the country. You should verify your status immediately. Go to the ECI portal right now to ensure your name is on the final roll. If it has been cut, you must file an offline appeal with your local magistrate before the election. In a system increasingly governed by black box algorithms, your vote is your ultimate defense. It is a right you must actively guard before a machine decides to take it away.